Warriors, rise. Man, the predictive programming is thick. Are they signaling a massive stock market crash? My name is Coach JB. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, Warriors, if you want access to my portfolio, exit strategy, and access to one of the most fundamental long-term, stay in the game crypto teams in the world, click right here, 3twarrior.com. Description down below. Join our free Discord to get to know, like, and trust us, or jump right in to get in the game, Warriors. This is the greatest time in human history. Look me in the eyes. From my heart, full love, embodied love for you and your family. All I'm doing is showing you exactly what I'm doing. I'm not asking you to trust a word I say. I'm embodying financial freedom. I'm embodying love. I'm embodying abundance, light, love, and positivity. And I hope that you will feel that from me, that I'm not trying to change anybody or convince you of anything. Rather, I'm just becoming what God gave me the ability to do. And hopefully that vibrational frequency can attract other people like me. And we can get out of this just over broke system. Okay, it's our time to rise into our higher level consciousness, help our families. This is the greatest time in human history. But I'm going to show you the predictive programming that has been going on for a very long time. But okay, one of my favorite investors, Warren Buffett. Okay, him and Charlie Munger are getting to that very late age. You can tell. Just it's very hard to hear their speaking. They're just getting to that later time and age, right? They're both getting to the later part of their life. They've done their thing here on Earth, and they're two of the greatest investors in the world. And I am a fundamental Warren Buffett style investor in cryptocurrency. These low prices right now and this appearance of crypto collapsing is the best time to buy when people are fearful. That is my investment thesis. When people are fearful, do the opposite of the sheep. Everybody that's walking off the cliff and giving up on crypto, the few like us, the Warriors, we're buying the dip, fundamental cryptos, okay? But listen to what they're saying. They are signaling, hey, listen, this is a shit show. The stock market is a shit show. Listen to what these juggernauts in investing say. Just listen very closely. I'll try to turn up as loud as I can, and then I'll go through the thesis that I'm seeing right now based on Russia, Ukraine, food shortages, but now they're starting to predictive program you that a stock market collapse is coming.
Keeping the American industrial machine working. Charlie, have you got any comments on that as to how something this crazy could have happened?
Well, so what he's referencing, I'm leaning forward to my mic here. So remember, Warriors, you don't need some fancy setup. I got a microphone and a computer here and a freaking little light in back. We got our new headquarters, but I'm not a fancy dude, man. So don't wait to get started. Okay, so he's talking about the stock market.
What happened? It's almost a mania of speculation that we now have. We have computers with algorithms trading against other computers. We got people who know nothing about stocks being advised by stockbrokers who know even less.
I understand.
That's a powerful, powerful thing. He said we got people advising people on stocks that know less about stocks. And then watch what Warren Buffett says. He says they know a lot about commission, just like the banks I used to work for.
The commission, though.
It's just an incredible, crazy situation. And it's weird that we ever got a system where all this equivalent of casino activity is all mixed up with a lot of legitimate long-term investment. I don't think any wise country would have wanted this outcome. Why would you want your country's stocks to trade on a casino basis to people who are just like the people who play craps and roulette in the casino? I think it's crazy, but it happened. And it's respectable, not with me, but with other people.
Okay, so he just kind of mumbles on. It's hard to understand him at this point. But what he's basically saying is saying, how the hell did we get to this point where the stock market is like a casino? Now, what does he mean by that, right? So we have massive amounts of quantitative easing, massive amounts of quantitative that's slowed down quite a bit. But think about it. Since 2008, Bitcoin's inception, they just printed money like crazy, okay? Anybody can advise people on stocks. You got guys like me coming onto, and I'm not a financial advisor, but talking about my investments, right? So it's an open marketplace, right? And you're seeing things like companies that are extremely overvalued that people are piling their money into. So there's really no growth to there's no growth, right? So the problem is what's happening is you have people who don't understand anything about fundamentals, investments, running companies. I understand companies. I'm equity owner in 9 companies. We have, one that's over 7 figures. We have 2 that are in 6 figures. One's heading to 7 figures right now. So that'll be 2 in 7 figures. We have a 5-figure company and the rest are in startup, going to head to 7 figures. So we understand how the market works. We understand how business works. Okay. We understand that a lot of these companies are overvalued. Here's the stock market. It's overvalued. Warren Buffett indicator by 90%. Now, what does that mean? I want to educate people. What that means is the aggregate U.S. market value is 45.8 trillion. The GDP is at 24 trillion. So what that's telling us right there is that basically aggregate market value is at 45 trillion. That's the value of the market. But the actual GDP and the growth that is being put into the economy is at 24 trillion. So where's the gap there? It's a bunch of printed money, bunch of borrowed money that these companies have, and they're sitting on a shoestring. So if this economy collapses or the stock market collapses, well, guess what? Your stocks come tumbling down, So how quantitative easing affects the stock market. So this is from Investopedia. Man, my brain is catching up to itself today. A QE policy intended to increase economic activity by injecting more cash into the system. Keyword, injecting cash into the system. Okay, this is just printed money. It's just printed money. If we did this, we'd be in jail. The central bank effectively creates new monetary reserves as it purchases bonds and other securities from commercial banks in the open market. Investors anticipate stronger business revenues and invest in companies that are expected to profit. Okay, so now what happens with quantitative easing? They buy a lot of junk bonds, right? So they'll buy junk bonds to keep companies that are struggling afloat. Junk bonds are riskier assets that have a higher level of return because due to the complexity of the company or the company's health. The company's not in good health, so there's a higher return on your investment because it's a riskier investment, right? So usually there's higher ROI on riskier investments. So the solid companies, they're not buying junk bonds from the solid companies. They're going after the companies that are struggling and buying those. And there's a lot of companies that are struggling right now. They're propped up by the quantitative easing, by the low level of interest rates. But now here's what's happening, Warriors. Here's what's happening. This is very concerning, okay? So this is another thing. This is what I'm talking about, the predictive programming. Global markets dollars dip, U.S. stocks tumble on inflation, okay? U.S. stocks weighed down by inflation, Amazon earning, NASDAQ loses 4% on day, registers biggest monthly dip since 2008. Dollar dips Friday, but set for biggest 1-month gain in 2015, which will be interesting. U.S. oil futures settle lower, gold rises, okay? It's just showing you a signal to assets. The U.S. dollar index fell from a 20-year high, and the Wall Street equities closed sharply lower on Friday. With the last economic data, Amazon.com disappointing quarterly reportings, and Outlook keeping the spotlight on surging inflation. Okay, now here's the narrative that's happening on the media now. So this is what people are seeing in the predictive programming. So now they're talking about the stock market. What is going on? There's no place to hide other than cash. That's why billionaires are going into Bitcoin. That's why Russia increased their gold. That's why China increased their gold. That's why America is increasing their asset purchases. That's why the biggest companies in the world are moving towards Bitcoin, a store of value.
Did we solve anything this week? Do you feel like you have any more clarity on where we might go now that this big earnings week is in the books?
No, this is actually exactly what I told you I was worried about. So I think, look, we have to acknowledge that this is the worst start to the year for 60-40 portfolios, which is what most of our viewers have some version of, 80-20, 70-30. In either case, you have to go back to 1980 to find a year where stocks were down double digits and bonds were down worse. There has been no place to hide other than cash. Even a 5-year treasury, you got slaughtered on duration. And in that kind of environment, you have to learn technicals. Like you can't be one of these people that comes on in January, February, March, arguing with me, telling me, oh, this is a great company. Yeah, we all understand that. But the stock is for sale 4 out of 5 days. And then we have these green days where the Dow goes up 800 points and everybody forgets you're in a downtrend. You're in a bear market in the NASDAQ. You're in a statistical downtrend in the S&P as of right now. We're going to finish this month, as I told you, below the 10-month moving average for the first time in a long time. This is not an environment that's rewarding fundamental happy talk about how great the management is or how innovative the software is. Nobody cares. Stocks are for sale. That's not going to continue indefinitely. And by the way, the money has to go somewhere. So you're not going to have bonds and stocks continue to lose day after day. But you have to understand the environment you're in before you start worrying about, was this a good or bad earnings quarter? Nobody cares. If you had a good quarter, your stock's down 5%. If you had a neutral quarter, your stock's down 12. And if you had a really bad quarter, you're down 40. That's the environment you're in. So what does that mean? If you're a trader, you're tightening up your stops, you're picking your spots, you're buying extremes in sentiments, you're buying that VIX 31, 32, and you're getting out very quickly. If you're an investor, there's no rush anymore. Remember the FOMO environment? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm not in that stock. It goes up every day. Show me that doesn't exist. Even the oil stocks are down now. So you could take your time, and let that bring me to Amazon very quickly. I don't know if Warren Buffett has other plans this weekend other than the Berkshire annual meeting, but I would be shocked if somebody, Todd, is not pencils down taking a look at this stock, because this has always been the one that got away from Berkshire. And if you think about the Apple purchase, Judge, 10 years ago, this is the exact environment that they bought Apple into. Apple was trading 8 times earnings, backing out the cash. Nobody wanted anything to do with it. If they're not looking at Amazon at Berkshire Hathaway, I would be absolutely floored. So
boom. I love this. I hope you caught that, Warriors, because this is not Bitcoin to 100,000. This is not XRP to 589. This is real world fundamental investing. You should have your pencil out and your paper out. You should be writing down the cryptocurrencies or the investments that are long-term investments. You got to get out of the casino. You got to get out of the Vegas lifestyle. You're not going to get rich quick. If you want to do that, then go to the gas station and buy a damn lottery ticket. Go get some scratchers. We are teaching fundamental, while we're showing you fundamental investments. I am not blinking. I love this downturn. I am buying the fundamental dollar cost averaging in. I'm not looking at my portfolio every single day. Every single Friday, I buy my key cryptos and I keep on going. I'm stacking money on the side to get more of my insurance product. I'm buying a little bit of silver here and there, Warriors. I'm sitting back, enjoying the show, grabbing my popcorn, and getting my family ready for generational wealth, because this is the type of shit that's happening right now. Here is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. $100 in March 20th now takes $111 on March 2022. Let me ask you a question. If you made $1,000, it takes $100 more, okay, to buy the same products and services. Okay, so if you're making $4,000 a month, it takes about $400 more dollars. Did your pay go up that much? Did you get a $400 pay raise? I know the math doesn't go exactly, but think about that for just a moment, because your rent globally, or excuse me, national, 1 bedroom has gone up about 22%. 2 bedroom has gone up 22%. Think about that for just a moment. We got to put our thinking caps on, Warriors. We got to get out of our head and down into our heart and understand fundamentals. What is it that you're seeking? Are you seeking freedom, or are you seeking asylum from your daily life? Are you seeking temporary dopamine? Or are you seeking an opportunity right now, just like the elites do, just like these big private meetings that have, like the Bilderberg? Think about that, Warriors. You're not going to get out of the system. You need to become the system, okay? Warriors, everything is controlled. Money, politics, information. When you have the money, the politics, and information, you can control the information that controls a predictive program that control the people. The only way you can pull yourself out of this is change the food, change what you're seeing, change what you're hearing, and watch what they're doing, not what they are saying, Warriors. That is why we created Warrior Academy, so you can be in the game with us, so you can have conversations with people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, like-minded people. Tribe is going to be unbelievably important the next 10 years. Okay. The 5 people you surround yourself with, you are going to be the 6th frequency of those people. So I'm a high frequency being, operating on a high level of Christ consciousness every single day, practicing my way of the mastery, breathing, meditation, improving my foods. I'll say improving my foods. I haven't been that great on my foods. I always admit when I'm wrong, but damn well, I'm working very hard to stay away from all the bullshit that's being presented to me by this physical world, because I'm in this world, but I'm not of the world, warriors. God gave me the ability to think, to walk, to talk, different fingerprint, different DNA, and allow me to be the greatest of all time within my paradigm, and also wants you to be the greatest of all time within your paradigm, because you do have a different fingerprint, different DNA. It's time for us as warriors to rise. Warriors, rise! Get your shit together. Let's go.